Welcome to day 195 of our DeSo journey. We're getting up there, Brian. Man,
Almost at
195 days.
200. We're getting close to 200.
So we started this yesterday, and now because DeSo allows for native video, we are making each one of these videos into an NFT. We're also still posting them on YouTube. So go give our YouTube channel some love just so it can kind of spread and attract more people onto DeSo. But each one of these videos will be minted as an NFT. And the way we're going to start this out is the first person who bids 1/4 of a DeSo, which currently is, I think about, I don't know, $30 or
$32.
so, $35 or so. The first person that bids 1/4 of a DeSo will get it. And that's how we're going to do it for now. We might change the way we do it in the future. And eventually we'll release some of our older videos, probably all of them eventually, as native videos and make them into NFTs as well. So every one of these videos will eventually be an NFT.
Yeah, so like we wanted to think of ways like we started this video thing, this daily video thing, as a way to kind of document the history of BitClout, now DeSo. So like each video is another day in the life of the DeSo community, and it's going to be a historical representation of what happened and how the platform grew, and eventually, hopefully, it's $1 trillion market cap project, and you can go back and own a piece of history. That's the way we see
Yeah,
it. We'll see
and
what.
shout out to M. Van Halen for buying our first DeSo video that we minted. Actually, it's the second one. We minted our very first a few days ago, but the first in line, the ones that started, M. Van Halen won that one.
All
So
right, enough about that. Let's
yes,
get to the news.
let's get into some DeSo news. So yesterday, Nader seemed to hint that referrals are going to be coming next week. In a post that Dharmesh made, he replied. You want to talk a little bit about that, Brian?
Yeah, so Dharmesh made a post. He was replying to a post by Tijin or Tyne. Sorry, I keep saying Tijin, Tyne. And it was talking about daily active users. And Dharmesh was saying that everything seems to be headed in the right direction, except the number of daily active users is not increasing like he wishes they would. So Nader actually replied to that shortly after Dharmesh's post. And he said, agree 100%. Some big stuff is coming next week that should change this. Stay tuned. So referral program, that's my guess. I mean, we don't know for sure. It could be something else, but I'm guessing it's the referral program because that's what's going to increase engagement the most. I think not engagement, but new users.
Yeah, that's my assumption as well, but it could be something else. It doesn't necessarily have to be the referral program. You know, there's other things that could increase user engagement on the platform, perhaps, coin buys of small creators or, NFT
Or like
purchases.
or Earn. We heard some rumors that they're going to work with Earn.com, which is a Coinbase company, and it would allow them to basically attract new users by paying them to try it out and learn about DeSo.
Or
So
maybe
that's
it's
something
both.
that might be coming.
We don't know. We're just taking guesses here. Also yesterday, Nader kind of made a post about NFTs. It was said, Alex Torelli actually made a post saying, who else is minting and trading NFTs? And Nader just replied to his post and said, soon, dot, dot, dot. So I assume Nader's going to start minting some NFTs, maybe trading, buying, selling NFTs. He does own a few NFTs now. So we'll see. It seems like that's something that's going to be coming soon. I know he's talked about supporting NFT artists, so maybe he's going to start buying some works on the DeSo blockchain. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, and I actually checked out his NFTZ profile to see what he owned. And I think a lot of them are ones people just transferred to him. Being the founder of DeSo, I guess, comes with perks, and that's free NFTs. Although he might have bought some, I don't know for sure, but I saw some that were definitely transferred.
Yeah. I mean, we got one transferred to us. We have had a couple transferred to us. That's pretty cool, right? We
Yeah,
get free NFTs.
definitely.
So also I wanted to talk a little bit about the ownership of DeSo because some more information has come out, both mostly through Nader himself, and Tyne actually clarified some of this with him after Nader mentioned it in some of his interviews. So $40 million was used by venture capitalists to buy DeSo back when it first launched. And only $40 million. I think most people assumed it was more than this. We always hear that $200 million that DeSo's raised, the DeSo Foundation has raised, but only 40 million of this has come from venture capitalists, which I think is really good. So you figure, okay, maybe they got in, let's just say they got in at $40 per DeSo. Could be a little less, could be a little more on average. Let's just say they got in at $40. That means that they probably own about 1 million DeSo out of the 10.8 million that's in circulation. And I think that's really good because that means that the VCs can't really influence the market as much as we assume. Like, say they all decide to unload, it's not going to have as much influence as if it was $200 million that they put in. So that's great news, I think. And also, it was pointed out that the founding team, the DeSo founding team, which includes Nader, I assume maybe Lazy Nina. We don't know who the founding team is. That's still kind of, pseudonymous. We don't really know who they are or who the exact founding team is and who the developers who have come on after that are. But the founding team owns 2 million coins. So 2 million out of the 10.8 million coins are owned by Nader and the rest of the founding team.
So like 19.5% or so is owned by the founding team. And like you said, that 2 million they brought in, a lot of people, including us, were thinking, oh, that was all VCs, but only about—
I mean, 200 million. 200 million.
200 million. Only about 20% of that was actually raised from VCs. So the rest of that came from people that were just on the platform that got excited. And I'm sure there's some big money that maybe isn't using DeSo right now, but bought in a lot just as an investment outside of VCs. But that's a really good— I have a really good feel about that, because that you don't have too many people that are going to rug pull the DeSo coin, because there's nobody that owns a tremendous amount.
Yeah, you got to figure the founding team's going to be holding long term. They're hodlers, right? Another fact that Nader mentioned is that no one owns more than 5% of the total coins, no single entity. And that includes the founding team together, well, obviously, because they own approximately, that excludes the founding team. So nobody outside the founding team owns 5%.
So outside that, like 19.5% from the founding team, it's pretty well decentralized, I'd say, in that, like you said, there's nobody that owns more than 5%. So it's centralized by the founding team, 19.5% or so, if you consider that centralized, and then that rest is broken up pretty evenly.
Yeah, so but the 19% that the founding team owns, that's not really that much when you compare it to other cryptocurrencies out there, even Bitcoin. Satoshi Nakamoto, he owned a huge percentage of Bitcoin when it first launched, probably not 20% of it.
Well, it's back up for a second. Bitcoin right now, there's what, like 19 million or something out there. He owns about 6% right now, a million Bitcoin. But it's been, if you go back like 8 years, there was far less Bitcoin. So I'm guessing he did obviously at one point own more than 19.5%.
That's a good point. So, like when people say it's that DeSo is not really decentralized because the founding team owns so much of it and the VCs own so much of it, it's not really true unless you're going to say that Bitcoin's also not decentralized.
But the argument there is that Bitcoin is proof of work and this is headed towards proof of stake. So yeah, it doesn't— centralization for Bitcoin is a whole other concept, because it's based on the mining capacity rather than the ownership of the coin.
Yeah. So, but I think overall those are good numbers, and they're numbers that are lower than what most of us have thought all along.
Right. I agree. And what's a final piece of news? Exciting. Nader's wife is now on DeSo. Buse, is that how you say it?
I believe it's Buse, Buse. If you look up her username, she's now on DeSo. They recently got married in Turkey, I believe, I think a couple weeks ago. So congratulations to Nader and Buse on their wedding. And it's great to have both of them on the platform now.
And for those who might be wondering why we had that like delay of like a month where nothing really happened and the founding team was supposedly traveling, that's what it was. It was the wedding, I believe.
Yeah, so congratulations. And I think that's all we have as far as news goes. Do we have anything else to say?
Not that I can think of. It's been a busy few days, but I think I think things are going to quiet down a little bit until next week, when hopefully we get some kind of fuel that's going to ignite the number of daily active users.
Yeah, and we're kind of conflicted about doing these videos natively on DeSo rather than on YouTube. So we are putting them on YouTube as well. We're minting them as NFTs on DeSo, but we're putting them on YouTube. And I think it's really important to get a lot of, informative information about DeSo that's not, people calling it a scam for information based on information that's not true and based on misinformation that kind of originated 6 months ago. So I think it's really important to get these videos on YouTube as well. And because we're posting them natively on DeSo, they're not getting as many views on YouTube, which I think is probably going to hurt their ranking in YouTube. Our goal on YouTube is just simply to get a positive message out, an informative message out about DeSo so that they kind of drown out any of the misinformation that's out there. So be sure to follow us on YouTube. And, we just want to help get information out to people. I know I said that a
Yeah,
lot.
and I think that if you're on DeSo and you're great at making videos, make some videos, make some tutorials, and upload them to YouTube, because we want people to learn about DeSo from the sources, the people using it, rather than the people that are hearing rumors that it's a scam or it's not legitimate or it's going to flop. So get out there and make videos and upload them to YouTube. We'll go and like them and follow them and try and boost your ranking as well.
Yeah, and Medium articles too. If you're a good writer, put out some Medium articles. Anybody can write a Medium article. Just go to medium.com, sign up for an account. You can start publishing articles, tag keywords, DeSo, BitClout, whatever, cryptocurrency, crypto news, and people will find them. And when people search Google, they'll come across those articles. And if you can be informative, it's great. And then when the referral program comes, you're going to be able to include your referral link in those Medium articles and YouTube videos and kind of earn money for those. So, get the word out there. I think it's really important.
Yeah, and I think things go both ways. So just like we don't like seeing the articles and the videos that are claiming DeSo is a scam, you also don't want to over embellish things and make it seem like a pipe dream or make it seem like this amazing thing that's going to for sure work out. So be honest, be critical if you have to, but also tell people what your experience and what you're seeing on DeSo and how great of a community it is.
Yeah. So I think that's a good place to leave off for day 195, and we'll talk to everyone tomorrow.